Hey everybody, it's Aaron. Up here in the dairy barn today showing you guys some of the projects that need to be done up here. I haven't posted a video in a couple weeks, been sick, still trying to get over it, but I'm doing a lot better now, so hopefully we can get some of this stuff done. I can show you what's going on here at the dairy. We got to get this roof fixed. As you can see, it's sagging pretty bad. It's unsightly and it's uncleanly, so we got to get that fixed before it causes a real problem. But considering the barn was built in the 50s after my grandpa got home from the war, I feel like it's holding up pretty good. But we've also got to get some of these lights replaced. I'd like to get some more light in the barn. The better you can see, the less chance you have of getting hurt in here. So, but since it's just me and the wife at milk, we kind of know the cows pretty well, so it's not been a big issue. But if we expand, they'll have to be fixed, because people have to be able to see what they're doing. So I just thought I'd show you some of the projects we have planned here in the barn. It's nothing too fancy, but it needs to get done. We also have that door that needs to be done. The hinges are falling apart, so it needs to be fixed. And we also have the door going out to the lot. It's missing, completely gone. I got a door down in the shop. I just gotta hang it up and put it up and finish it up. So anyway, we'll move on to the machine shed and I'll show you some stuff I need to get done up there. All right, here we are at the machine shed. As you can see, it's getting some age on it. It needs to be updated a little bit. A lot of the equipment we have anymore just barely fits in the bays. As you can see, our baler just barely fits in between the poles. But biggest thing about this machine shed is it needs to be cleaned out. Over the years, it's accumulated a lot of junk, just a lot of junk. So, but one of the big projects with this machine shed I need to get done is hopefully replace some of these beams with metal and these supports with hopefully metal supports. That way it can handle more weight, and we can take about half of these poles out. That way we can get our machinery in here and not have to worry about hitting the poles and knocking them out and all that good fun stuff. But you can see we've accumulated a lot of junk over the years. But see, our Moco, it just barely fits in that bay. I mean, it's a tight squeeze, and it's only 10 foot wide, and we're thinking about going to 12 or 13 feet wide. So if we do this, that pole will definitely have to go. So if that pole has to go, realistically, all those supports along the edge of the barn need to be metal. So hopefully that's something we can get done this year. We've been trying to do it for 2 years, but it doesn't seem to ever get done. So it's not been a big issue, but if we're going to expand and make the equipment bigger, the barn has to get bigger. So the best way to do that is just to remove half the poles. So anyway, we'll go down to the shop and I'll show you some stuff that's going to get done down there. Okay, so now we're down in the shop. Here's the 4440. It's been down since the last hay season. Haven't needed it. It hasn't been a big issue. We only really use it during hay season and during the summer. So we hasn't really been an issue to get it fixed, but it's getting to be springtime, so now it's going to have to get fixed. But here's a hydraulic pump we took out of it. That's what brought it in here, and that's why we tore it all to pieces. So had a hydraulic pump go bad. We thought it was just a seal. When we dug into it, we found out it was the whole pump. The whole main shaft was bad. So we had to take it out and get it totally rebuilt. Thought it was going to be an easy project. Turned out to be quite expensive and quite the big deal. But anyway, we have to redo the PTO in this tractor too. It didn't go bad, but the PTO in the other 4440 did go bad. So while this one was in the shop down, we just went ahead and robbed parts off of it. Got the hay put up, and that's all that matters. So we just got to get that finished up. Here's the carryall. I started this winter. All I've got to do is finish welding it back together. It's mostly done. I just got to add some supports to the edges here. That way they don't shake and break. This I thought it was pretty interesting. This carryall, my uncle built it way back when he was in high school. So I thought it was pretty interesting that we were going to repurpose it and reuse it. So I thought that was pretty interesting. It was wood at the time, but we're going to make it steel, and I feel like I've done a pretty good job building it. I just took a key from my dad's flatbed, so on his truck. So it lasted. His flatbed's doing pretty good, and we put it through quite a bit of abuse, and I expect to put this thing through probably more abuse than what that thing is. So anyway, here's the door that needs to go on the dairy barn. As you can see, it's already built. I've had it built for quite a while. I was going to put it on the barn at our other farm, and then we sold it, so I didn't see any point in hanging it up when I can use it over here. I do think I'm gonna have to shorten it up a little bit. I made it too tall for the door over here. I'm pretty sure I need to get it out and measure it and make sure, but I'm pretty sure it's about probably about a foot too tall, and I'm probably have to go and remake it a little bit, but it shouldn't be too much of an issue. I thought about it all winter, so I don't think it'll be too much of an issue to shorten it up. But those are just some of the projects we've got to do. We also have to work on our 6410. As you can see, it's missing the light from the top. I've got the bezel, just need to put it in, that's all. It does need new injectors, and I've got the injectors, but being that we use this tractor almost every day during the winter and then almost every day during the spring and the summer, it leaves us very little chance to actually work on it. So hopefully we can get that done. It needs to be done pretty bad, but we've just never got around to it. It seems like we're always using it, and it can't be down for very long. So anyway, but that's just some of the projects we got to do. There's a lot more projects that need to be done, but those are just the main ones here in the short term. There's a lot of projects go on every day here on the farm that we just don't get videoed. Hopefully I can get some strap-on equipment so that I can carry my equipment around with me all the time. That way it's not in the way while I'm working. So far that's been one of my biggest issues, is I can't work while the camera's rolling, because I've got to move the camera constantly and I got to do other things. So hopefully I can get some stuff where I can put the camera on me, some of the GoPro stuff. But anyway, please like and subscribe if you like the video. Thank you very much.